What's going on? Sorry I'm late. Just been some updates. Get the likes up. Well, okay, we cool. Ooh wee. Look like he done some more stuff is coming out, baby. Got too much. I need to go and just kick his butt on out the White House. It's just too much. He lied too much. And he played in our face. And y'all know I cannot stand that. Time is up. Ooh, time is up. It's up and it's stuck. Time is up. It's up and it's stuck. So I am not going to waste no time because I got things I have to do. Places I got to go and people I need to see. Let me put these blue ray glasses on. Y'all ready to listen? Hey, Samantha. Hey. Yeah, all is well. Let's go. Breaking.
Ana Cabrera reports new Epstein records. House Oversite Democrats dropping more pictures from the Epstein estate. Photos that show powerful men.
This was breaking news.
Breaking on Ana Cabrera reports new Epstein records. House Oversite Democrats dropping more pictures from the Epstein estate. Photos that show powerful men in Epstein's orbit, including President Trump and Bill Gates. What more we're learning this hour.
We know that.
Plus, a new threat from the Trump administration against Venezuela after seizing an oil tanker. How this whole situation could further escalate, according to one White House official. And Kilmar Abrego Garcia freed from federal detention. But is his legal fight over? Where his case?
It should be. They've tortured this man. What he did to Trump, I will never know.
Hello, it's 10 Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. I'm Ana Cabrera reporting from New York. We begin with this breaking news. A new look at Jeffrey Epstein's circle. Just now, Democrats on the House Oversight Committee releasing a trove of new photos they received from the Epstein estate. The photos show the powerful men who moved in Epstein's orbit, including a photo of President Trump with unidentified women, and others featuring former President Bill Clinton, Bill Gates,
with unidentified women or kids, young ladies.
The photos show the powerful men who moved
kids or young ladies. I mean, women or young
unidentified women, and others featuring former President Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, and Steve Bannon, along with Woody Allen, among others. House Oversight Democrats provided very limited information on the situation surrounding these photos or when they were even taken. And none of the images are evidence of wrongdoing. Let's go right to MS Now senior Capitol Hill reporter Ali Vitale, our Justice and Intelligence reporter Ken Delanian, senior legal reporter Lisa Rubin, and former federal prosecutor Barrett Berger. Ali, what more can you tell us about what's in this release and how Democrats receive them?
Today I choose how to screen for colon cancer. Give me Cologuard.
Excuse me? You just need a prescription.
Victory!
Cologuard is for people 45 plus at average risk, not high risk. False positive negative results may occur. Ask your provider for Cologuard.
What we're talking about here, Anna, is 19 images out of a batch of 95,000 that the Epstein estate provided to the House Oversight Committee. These images, as we're going through reviewing them in real time, include photographs that show, for example, President Donald Trump.
Democrats receive them.
What we're talking about here, Anna, is 19 images out of a batch of 95,000 that the Epstein estate provided to the House Oversight Committee. These images, as we're going through and reviewing them in real time, include photographs that show, for example, President Donald Trump flanked by multiple women who have had their faces blurred to protect their
minors.
We also see a picture signed by former President Bill Clinton with Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's co-conspirator, as well as other powerful figures figures from Woody Allen to Steve Bannon, a close Trump ally who was previously a Wall Street executive. That's just an example of people who we're seeing in this new drop. But again, it is a drop in the bucket in terms of what the committee is currently going through. Now, my understanding, according to my sources that I've been talking to this morning, is that the committee got this new batch of documents this week, again, pursuant to a subpoena from the estate, and they are going through these in real time. What we're lacking here, Anna, is any context on when these photos were taken or what the conversations were around them, because these images stem from photos that were in Epstein's emails or in his computers. Those were things that the subpoena directly asked for. It was specifically asking for all videos and still photographs from the Epstein estate. So for Lisa Rubin, it's a question of going through what that subpoena might encompass, and then for us on the Hill, asking if the committee is going to amend or issue a new subpoena to try to get some of the email context around these photos, because again, we don't know when they were sent, to whom they were sent, or even what was said about them, but that is the open question as we get, again, a better glimpse into Epstein's inner social circle and some of the powerful people through which he aligned himself. We expect more, of course, because there's 95,000 of these documents, but we expect to see the Oversight Committee ranking member, that's Robert Garcia on the Democratic side, come out at some point during this vote series, because the House, of course, is in session. And that is the next question that I and I think others will ask, which is, we see this now, but what's still coming?
Yeah, stay with me here, Ali, as we continue to delve through these pictures. Lisa, what stands out to you based on what you're looking at so far?
Well, so there are a couple of things that stand out to me. Obviously, this is a very small subset of the 95,000 images that we understand that the committee is now in possession of. But Anna, one thing that stands out to me is the people whose faces are not redacted as compared with images where we can see that the women have faces that are redacted or blurred out. That suggests to me that either the estate and or the committee believe that some of these women are either minors and or survivors of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Because there are other images, for example, including an image with Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, Bill Clinton, and an unidentified couple where both the man and the other woman's faces are fully visible. That means that they know who that person is in all likelihood, and that person is not someone they believe to be a survivor. On the other hand, then we see that picture with President Trump and those 6 women. That's not to say President Trump is complicit in any wrongdoing, but it may be that he was photographed with people that they believe to have been trafficked or abused by Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Of course, the other thing that stands out to me, I just want to level set for our audience, when the committee issued the subpoena in the first place, it was because they came to understand that there was a birthday book, right? It was based on the Wall Street Journal's reporting over the summer. Once they understood that the estate was in possession of that birthday book, they crafted a subpoena. And the subpoena did not ask carte blanche for every piece of paper that the estate had that could possibly relate to abuse or trafficking by Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. There are very specific requests for certain types of documents. And then, as Ali just mentioned, there is a request for photographs and videos that are reflective of Jeffrey Epstein's properties that he either owned or operated. Mostly his homes, and of course we're now seeing some images that appear to be taken on private airplanes as well. But will they go back to the well? Will they ask for more now that their appetite has been whetted? I think that's totally possible. And it's a nice contrast with what they've asked for the Department of Justice, both in their subpoena to DOJ, but also in the Epstein Files Transparency Act, where they are calling for the Department of Justice to produce a much, much broader universe of everything in their possession that could relate to their prior investigations of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, of course with some exceptions for victim privacy and personally identifiable information. But the requests to the estate, by contrast, are far more limited, and therefore what we can glean from it may also be more limited.
This was a huge dump of photos that we're just getting into. I mean, some 95,000 photos were reportedly turned over to the committee in recent days, Ken, and as we share some of those that we're seeing already, Lisa noted that the faces that are blacked out were done so by the Democrats on the Oversight Committee. The men in these pictures are
Bannon always in there, ain't he?
Very recognizable faces for a lot of our viewers. Most have acknowledged relationships with Epstein, but have denied anything inappropriate or criminal. And we should note that nothing that we've seen in these photos further any claims or evidence of wrongdoing at this point. What are we hearing so far in reaction from these men, Ken? And if not today, what have they said in the past?
Yeah, I'm not aware that they've reacted yet to the publication of these photos, but you just made the really important point. Look, we're seeing obviously very recognizable people here. There's Woody Allen, Steve Bannon. There are photos of Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, Alan Dershowitz, who was a lawyer for Jeffrey Epstein. All of these men, well, first of all, we should be very upfront with the viewers. These photos so far are not, it's not revealing anything new. We've long known that these men have had relationships with Epstein. They've all acknowledged that. And they've also said, as you pointed out, that they did nothing wrong, that they were not aware of his trafficking of young women. And we should all, I think it's also important to point out that, you know, the Democrats are releasing these now. The Democrats and the Republicans could have pressed the Biden Justice Department to release Epstein files. They could have issued the subpoena a long time ago. They didn't. And the Democrats are doing this now because they sense that putting this information out puts pressure on Donald Trump. This is a problem.
That's not true. Donald Trump brought that to light. He is the one who said that he was going to bring them out. Stop lying. Is this Fox 4? Is this Fox? Yeah, because that's bullcrap. If he would have kept his mouth shut, it would have flew past everybody thinking that Ghislaine Maxwell sentence was suffice. So stop lying. Don't come in here and lying on this Good Friday. I mean, not Good Friday, but you know. Yeah, stop lying. Stop covering. Are you a PDFer? Are you a PDFer? Yes, stop covering for PDFers. Because I'm going to begin to believe that you are one of them. So stop lying, MS now. You trifling. It don't have nothing to do with Democrats doing this. But he was trying to do it to shame the man he was sucking on his pickle. Yeah. He should have kept his mouth, but he don't know how to do that. He talk too much. He got diarrhea at the mouth, diarrhea out the ass. He just a big old lump of shit. That's it. Let's go.
They could have issued the subpoena a long time ago. They didn't. And the Democrats are doing this now because they sense that putting
y'all kill me lying.
Pressure on Donald Trump. This is a problem for Donald Trump, this story, and they're doing it in part for political reasons. Not that there's necessarily anything wrong with that, but that's just the world that we live in.
Remember, the victims do want all the evidence out there too. They have also been calling for more transparency.
Absolutely.
In these files, these pictures that we're seeing, again, coming from the Epstein estate, not from the DOJ at this point. Barrett, what do you see as the significance of these pictures from an evidentiary standpoint? And do you see any legal risk in releasing these photos publicly?
So I think it's really interesting because for the public, this is sort of, you know, an ongoing process where we're getting little pieces of evidence, we imagine, or little pieces of information. I don't even know that it can be called evidence, but we can expect to get even more, especially once we get closer to that December 19th deadline for DOJ to release all its files. But I think a few points have been made today already that are just worth emphasizing. The first one is we're getting these little pieces of, you know, info with no context. This is also going to be the case when we get DOJ's files. You might see notes. You might see an FBI agent's, you know, scribbling on a thing. You might see what's a 302, which is an FBI more formal report. But there's not going to be a lot of context in some of these. So for us diving in, looking at these things, we're desperate to try to put the pieces together to try to, you know, make a narrative or make a story. It may not be that easy because we are going to get a document dump, photos, flight records, information from FBI agents, and there won't necessarily be that comprehensive storyline in all these files. So it's just important to keep that in mind. And second is, Ken, I just really want to highlight what Ken said. You know, just because people were associated with Jeffrey Epstein, just because their pictures are there, just because we see their names in whatever DOJ releases, number one, doesn't mean that they did anything criminal. Number two, doesn't mean there was ever a criminal case initiated or started against them. So, you know, it is tempting. I keep saying the word evidence, but we actually have to kind of catch ourselves on this because evidence is what you use when you're, you know, trying to prove criminal charges. And what we have here is information that won't necessarily be ever used in any sort of court of law or to make any kind of a criminal case. It may just be, you know, there to satisfy curiosity of people right now.
Well, how do you know what will ever be used or not? Y'all kill me. Y'all get on my nerves. Absolutely. Hold on. Let's go.
news. In the last few moments, further files relating to the paedophile Jeffrey Epstein have been released in the US. Our US correspondent, well, we can show you some of them now. Now, there are four pictures we can show you as part of
not showing?
Overall, 95,000 being looked at, and they've been released by the Democrats on the House Oversite Committee. As you can see, Donald Trump features in this one. Looks like several women there as well, but their faces have been covered. Let's bring you the next one. This features Steve Bannon, the former advisor to Donald Trump, certainly during his first term, in an office there with Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein on the right there at a desk and with his computer. And we can go to our US correspondent, David Blevins, who joins me now. David, a lot of people have been pushing for this kind of thing. The Democrats have released, well, there's a handful we're showing, but there's a huge tranche of something like 95,000 as part of this latest dump.
95,000.
Let me try to explain what exactly has happened in the last few minutes. The Democrats on the House Oversite Committee, that is the committee on Capitol Hill investigating crimes carried out by Jeffrey Epstein, have received, they say, 95,000 images from the Epstein estate. They have now released 19 of those images, and they are striking. 3 of them are images of the President of the United States, Donald Trump. Also, there is a picture of the former Prince Andrew, now known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. There is, as you say, a picture of Trump's former advisor, Steve Bannon, and others among those images released. But I think it's really important to stress at this stage that just appearing in a picture that has been released by the Epstein estate is no indication of wrongdoing. NBC, our colleagues in the United States, has reached out to each of these people for comment. None of them has been accused of wrongdoing, and all of them have repeatedly denied any knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. But I think there will be much focus on the 3 photographs featuring Donald Trump. He has, of course, in the past indicated that he was friends with Jeffrey Epstein in the 1990s and the early 2000s. Each of them owned a mansion in Florida, and they were filmed together, for example, at a party, because the American financier and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein really partied with the rich and famous a lot. You're looking at a picture of him with Woody Allen there, because he cultivated relationships with influential people, politicians, academics and celebrities. And so there was much shock in 2008 when he was convicted of procuring a minor for prostitution and served a controversially lenient jail sentence. And then in due course, we know that he was arrested on federal sex trafficking charges, accused of exploiting and trafficking numerous underage girls. So these pictures will be scrutinized heavily. Sex trafficking charges, accused of exploiting and trafficking numerous underage girls. So these pictures will be scrutinized heavily. We've now had a statement, I should say, from Representative Robert Garcia, who's the ranking member on the committee from the Democrats, and this is what he's had to say. This latest production contains over 95,000 photos, including images of the wealthy and powerful men who spent time with Jeffrey Epstein. Images also include thousands of photographs of women and Epstein properties. Oversite Democrats are reviewing the full set of photos and will continue to release photos to the public in the days and weeks ahead. Committee Democrats are committed to protecting the identities of the survivors. 19 photos can be accessed here. And he goes on to say, it is time to end this White House cover-up and bring justice to the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein and his powerful friends. These disturbing photos raise even more questions about Epstein and his relationship with some of the most powerful men in the world. We will not rest until the American people get the truth. The Department of Justice must release all the files now. I think it is worth, again, reminding people that these are not the Epstein files, so to speak, that we've been talking so much about in recent months. Following a decision by the House of Representatives and subsequently the Senate, and then the signature of the President himself, those files, some 300 gigabytes of them, will be released in due course. But right now we are receiving just some documents from the Democrats on the House Oversight Committee, documents which we would expect to feature in the overall files, but they are striking. 19 photographs, 3 of them photographs of the current President of the United States.
David, as you rightly point out, these are not the files, but Donald Trump did say in advance of returning to the White House that he would release the files, and the Democrats are trying to push him to do just that, but as yet, that hasn't happened.
Yes, again, I think it's worth reminding people why the Epstein files have become such an issue. During the election campaign, Donald Trump repeatedly pledged that he would release these documents. Once
he should have kept
elected,
his mouth closed.
His Attorney General Pam Bondi said they were on her desk and ready to go. She then released a small amount of material and said there was no list of Epstein clients. And that fueled, I think, further conspiracy of cover-up. They had really lit a fire that they were unable to put out. Republican Congressman Thomas Massey then raised his head above the parapet. He tabled a bill to release all the files, and 3 other Republicans supported him. You will remember that one of them was Donald Trump's longtime ally, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and that really developed into quite a split in the MAGA base. So under pressure at that point, Donald Trump did a U-turn, and he urged Republicans to vote for the bill to release all the files, and all but one
every time
did
photos
just
come
that.
out, he
And
released
since then,
a
we've been waiting
he
for the
pardoned
Epstein
somebody
files to
from
be
prison.
released. As I say, there are hundreds of thousands of pages, digital records and other media related to criminal investigations into Jeffrey Epstein. The Epstein files, that's really material that has been collected by law enforcement, primarily the FBI and the Department of Justice. And according to the Department of Justice, the archive includes over 300 gigabytes of data and physical evidence. So really, the material that has dropped this morning is literally a drop in the ocean. And 95,000 images, the Democrats on the Oversight Committee say they have received images, including one you're looking at of the former President of the United States, Bill Clinton, alongside Jeffrey Epstein and his girlfriend and co-accused Ghislaine Maxwell. Between those 2 men, there is also pictures, as we've seen, of the current President, Donald Trump, a picture of his former advisor, Steve Bannon, and one, we understand, of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Again, I'm going to stress that just being pictured with Jeffrey Epstein or having your picture released by the Oversight Committee or members of that committee does not indicate wrongdoing. NBC, our colleagues in the United States, have reached out to each of these people for comment, but they have previously denied any wrongdoing and any knowledge of Epstein's crimes.
David, they've only released 19. We're showing a handful of them now. Clearly some people's identities have been protected in these photos, others not. We're looking at that one of Steve Bannon with Jeffrey Epstein now. But 95,000 to work through. Are they working through these and holding them back because of decency or privacy issues? What would be the reasons for not releasing more at this point in time?
Legal reasons and political reasons. There has been a legal change just in the last couple of days in that judges have...
Because of decency or privacy issues, what would be the reasons for not releasing more at this point in time?
Legal reasons and political reasons. There has been a legal change just in the last couple of days in that judges have ruled, for example, that material which had previously been sealed could be unsealed. That was grand jury material relating to prosecutions of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, for anyone who is unfamiliar with the judicial process in the United States, material goes to a grand jury and it is they who decide if there is enough ground to proceed with a prosecution. That grand jury material has been unsealed in relation to both Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. So legally there had been a delay, but I think that will lead to the release of some more documents in due course. And then politically, there have been hurdles to overcome as well, because this had to be brought about through a bill on Capitol Hill, which was ironically brought by a Republican, Thomas Massey. He was the person who tabled the Epstein Transparency Act. He had all of the Democrats on board, obviously, but the pivotal moment came when 3 other Republicans crossed the aisle, so to speak, and voted with him. That pushed the bill through, and you may remember, remarkably, it was swiftly rubber stamped by the Senate without even a debate and landed quickly on the desk of Donald Trump, who is himself now pictured in 3 of these pictures, which have been released by the Democrats on the House Oversite Committee. So I suppose in many ways the legal hurdles, the political hurdles are being overcome, the barriers are falling, and over the course of time we are seeing more and more material. And while these are not the Epstein files that we've been waiting for, this is the kind of material that you're going to see when those Epstein files come in full in due course.
So, and as you've stressed, and I'm going to stress again, being in a photo with someone doesn't imply any sort of wrongdoing. You may just brush up near them at a party and a photo is taken. You may meet them in an office like we've just seen, and there may be more to it. We don't know, and none of this implies any wrongdoing. But David, let's just set some of the context on this. I mean, when he came to the White House in the first place, Donald Trump often talked about draining the swamp. The implication
He
being
is the swamp.
he was an outsider.
His diaper
swamp,
is the dang
the people who ran
swamp.
Washington. And what this does show is how broad and powerful Jeffrey Epstein's network was, and it went across.
Trump is the
He's
swamp.
pictured with Trump. He's pictured with Bill Clinton. He's pictured with plenty of famous, powerful people. The network he had and the power was huge.
I haven't been to the grocery store in months because this delivery service offers hundreds of high-quality, non-GMO groceries and recipes that help me feel my best daily.
Yes, and to some extent, the conspiracy around all of this was a conspiracy that was peddled by Donald Trump himself in the course of the election campaign, when he repeatedly stated that he would release the Epstein files if he was re-elected President of the United States. But the moment he found himself back in the White House, the trouble began to arise, because his Attorney General, Pam Bondi, said the files were on her desk and ready to go, but then never released the
and he
material
sucked
that people
Bill's
expected to see
pickle
at that stage, and all of that poured petrol on the fire.
Yeah.
It fueled further conspiracy
Picklegate
theories around the Epstein files, and that is what pushed it to the point where some Republicans on Capitol Hill were joining forces with Democrats to force through a vote demanding the release of the files in full. The Democrats have decided that they are going to some extent drip feed the material to us. They've been doing that in recent months, and these 19 pictures released today, selected from, we are told, some 95,000 images they've received from the Epstein estate, are part of that.
Yeah, seeing a picture of Bill Gates, the wealthy Microsoft founder, with the now named Andrew Mountbatten Windsor on the screen as well. And plenty of these pictures feature Jeffrey Epstein too. If you're just joining us, just going to reiterate this breaking news that the Democrats on the Oversite Committee of Government Reform in the US say they have now got 95,000 photos, including images of the wealthy and powerful men who spent time with Jeffrey Epstein, and they've released 19 of them, which we're showing you on the screen right now. And as David Blevins, who's still with me, has been stressing, these are not the Epstein files, but these are photos that give an insight to the connections, the network that Jeffrey Epstein had. And of course, being in a photo with anybody doesn't imply any sort of wrongdoing, just a photo with someone. But nevertheless, David, as we've been spelling out here, it does show the connection, the breadth of Jeffrey Epstein's network. And also we've seen others in there as well. Ghislaine Maxwell, of course, who is currently incarcerated in the US as well.
These booty buddies right here.
And Matt, let me just tell you that we've now received a statement from the House Oversite Committee. They are not always terribly impressed, it has to be said, when Democratic members of the committee release this material. This is what the statement says. Once again, Ranking Member Robert Garcia and Oversight Committee Democrats are cherry-picking photos and making targeted redactions to create a false narrative around President Trump. We received over 95,000 photos and Democrats released just a handful. Democrats' hoax against President Trump has been completely debunked.
Well, y'all should have released them yourself.
Nothing in the documents we've received shows any wrongdoing. It is shameful. Representative Garcia and Democrats continue to put politics above justice for the survivors. So very strong words from the Oversight Committee. They are not impressed that the Democrats have chosen to release at this point 19 of the 95,000 images they've received from the estate of the late Jeffrey Epstein. Among those 19 pictures, 3 of the President of the United States, Donald Trump, though we know there is one of the former president, at least one of the former president, Bill Clinton. There are others featured there too, but I'm going to state what we've been stating repeatedly, just appearing in a picture that's been released from these documents is no indication of wrongdoing, and these people have repeatedly stated that they had no knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein's crimes.
Well, we know that's a lie. Let me see something.
Well, this is some reporting I've done with my colleague Annie Breyer, and basically what we're getting and what we're seeing being released today are photos from the Democrats on the House Oversight Committee. It's from Jeffrey Epstein's estate, which has been turning over emails and other records of his from his life.
Oh yeah, that's the one I want.
Production is over 95,000.
Let's back that up. Let's see that Trump condom. Yeah, he got his own condom, y'all. Did y'all know that? Your president, not president, president has his own condom. Where they do that at? What type of president is this? Huh? He got his own condom? I thought he was married. What he need his own condom for? Uh-huh.
Collins has been working the story for us. Caitlin, what are we learning from these new images?
Well, this is some reporting I've done with my colleague.
Hey, Samantha. Yeah.
And what we're seeing being released today are photos from the Democrats on the House Oversight Committee. It's from Jeffrey Epstein's estate, which has been turning over emails and other records.
There. Stop. Huh? Fat ass. What you need with a Trump condom for? $4.50. Talking about finally. Protection. Huh? That little 14, 13-year-old girl asked you what will happen if you get pregnant, you know. So that means you didn't have no condom on then, you fat uck. Huh? Finally. By a Trump. Oh my God. Trump condom. $4.50. That's all your ass is worth. Fat, dump, Trump. Yeah, finally. What do you mean? You sick. You sick. I mean, I know you sick, but you super duper sick. And how in the hell are y'all voting for this shit? What is wrong with the people? This is crazy. He got his own condom. Wow.
From his life. This latest production is over 95,000 photos that he had on his computer, on his email server. And basically what they do, Wolf, is just reinforce and shed new light on the extent of the many powerful people that were in Jeffrey Epstein's orbit. I mean, you can see this when you look through these pictures, and they're available to scroll through in our story on CNN.com right now. And there are people including the current president, President Trump, former President Bill Clinton, Steve Bannon, Bill Gates, Richard Branson. A lot of these people that we knew had been linked to Jeffrey Epstein in the past, Wolf. But basically, this is just showing new angles of those relationships. And they're incredibly personal photos, and some of them and others.
They always on top of each other. All on each other's ass.
Explain what you're looking at. We've published the ones that we've been able to online, though. And basically, they just show all the high and powerful people in his orbit.
Yeah, Ben, he said a lot of your asses is going to prison.
Epstein. There's one that includes Steve Bannon, who, as you remember, was a huge advisor to President Trump in the 2016 campaign and also worked
He trying to take us out.
And they're just really remarkable images showing what Jeffrey Epstein's life was like before he became
bubble
and all of this trouble, and when he was eventually, of course, charged and indicted for sex trafficking of young underage women. And I should note, Wolf, as you
organized crime
that we're releasing today that we've gotten our hands on.
Organized elite crime.
We don't believe any show any underage girls. It's really just speaking more to Jeffrey Epstein's life and what that looked like.
Y'all please double tap the face of y'all phone.
Basically told the committee
hit the like button.
Photos, they have videos that were taken at any property that was owned, rented, operated, or used by Jeffrey Epstein for about 30 years. So that just kind of tells you the span of what you're looking at here. Is Jeffrey Epstein was surrounding himself with a lot of powerful people, which of course we now know also helped insulate him at times from the crimes he was committing.
Jeffrey Epstein, and they show powerful figures like President Trump, Trump advisor Steve Bannon, and former President Bill Clinton. None of those released images depict any sexual misconduct, nor are believed to depict underage girls. It was not immediately clear when or where they were taken, or by whom, for that matter. I want to go live right now to CNN anchor and chief White House correspondent Caitlin Collins, who's been working the story for us. Caitlin, what are we learning from these new images?
Well, this is some reporting I've done with my colleague Annie Breyer, and basically what we're getting and what we're seeing being released today are photos from the Democrats on the House Oversite Committee. It's from
These freaks, these old ass freaks, freak nasty. Talking about draining the swamps. No, you all over the swamp. You make a dump every time you turn around. There's a dump, a Trump dump, and you done dumped a whole shitload of bullcrap. That's to the Oversite Committee. Shitty ass.
Here you see Trump condoms. This was in the Epstein estate. You see Donald Trump with individuals who appear to. This is horrific. Smoking gun images from the Epstein estate have just been released. We see Donald Trump with individuals who appear to be survivors of Epstein on airplanes, at parties. We just show you some of these smoking gun photos that were just released by Democrats on the House Oversite Committee. You see Donald Trump, survivors of Epstein on airplanes, at parties. We just show you some of these smoking gun photos that were just released by Democrats on the House Oversite Committee. You see Donald Trump and it appears to be a young lady over here. Donald Trump and very young girls over here. You see that their faces are redacted. Many believed to be Epstein survivors here.
They was at a luau.
Condoms. This was in the Epstein estate. You see these rubber gloves that appear to be used for sexual purposes.
Oh, wow.
Disgusting. You have jawbreaker gags over here.
Oh, wow.
Conditions.
So they got some special little butt plug ass gloves. Y'all see that? That's for a butt. Oh wow. Do y'all see that? How simple 7. Do y'all see that? That's a butt plug. Some of these folks like being screwed into butt. They doing the butt. Work that, work that. They want this in, oh wow. Oh, that's a pain, you know. Lisa from the H. Shout out to Lisa from the H. So this saying screw me in the buttocks. Oh, they want to feel it, don't they? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I am so green. When I tell you I'm green, I ain't never seen no shit like this in my life. Wow. 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 I don't know what to say, y'all. But why? Nakivia, what's going on? Nakivia, what's going on? I can't move past this glove. What type of glove is this? Baby! I mean, this take what I use finger toes and booty holes out to a new level. Finger toes and booty holes. Oh my God. Oh my God. What? I need to snap a picture just in case this disappears. I need a picture. Huh? I need to make this a thumbnail. Hold on, y'all. I gotta get it. Oh, now cut the light off. I gotta get it. I gotta get it. I mean, I guess that's what they were saying too. I gotta get it. I gotta feel it. What? Y'all, these are some different type of freaks, ain't it? Baby? I mean, is there a freak in the house tonight? What? Is there a freak? Is there a freak in the house tonight? Baby, I ain't never seen nothing like this in my life. That's some new. I don't feel bad. It's new, baby, because I'm like, shit. We behind. All these freaky people out here thinking they got it going on. These here white folks putting all you niggas to shame. They say I'm sorry. My, what's that song? However do you want it? However do you need it? However do you want it? Baby! Huh? Bend over. Let daddy or mama, whoever your freak is, yeah, you want a little extra? How much extra is that? Which one you want? Yeah, which one you want? You want a plug? You want a pen? You want a huh? You want a little screw, medium, big screw, big screw. Yeah, this go deeper. This the one to go up further. But baby, which one you want? You want to feel it? You want to feel it today, or you want the plug? Let's go. This is what they own, huh? Is that where they get that shit from? A 5-in-1. Wow, y'all. I guess I'm just gonna remain naive. Green. AunTeaFee, you green? Yeah, AunTeaFee is green. Cause this right here, here, and here. Wow. Wow. Oh my God. Let's listen. Woo.
Disgusting. You have jawbreaker gags over here.
Jawbreaker gags? Jawbreakers? Is this Bill belt that he was trying to take off? That's Bill belt. That's Bill's belt. May cause injury or death. What? Jawbreaker gag in your mouth. What? Never leave a person with a jawbreaker gag in their mouth unattended. Oh, that's that. That's what that Prime Minister, that Uda Barack, that's what he did to that girl. But he was trying to take out Bill, a Bubba, belt. Let us not forget. Come on.
Breaker gags over here. Terms and conditions of the warranty for these gags
kinky ass.
That are part of these photos that include Trump and Epstein and other wealthy men that the Democrats and the House Oversite Committee just released. You have things called pussy pumps. You've got extreme restraints. And then more photos of Donald Trump, Epstein, and
now I let you put your other little comment up, RETSE, but don't bring in nobody. Don't be lying and mentioning nobody's name. I'm gonna put your monkey booty buster ass out. Now say something else. Don't mention nobody that has not been implemented.
young girls, young ladies. Seems to be lots of underage people as well. It looks like they're young, but the faces are redacted, so it's hard to see photos of Steve Bannon and Jeffrey Epstein having meetings together at this time. Epstein was meeting with Bannon. Bannon was Donald Trump's top advisor at this time.
Bannon has already said that if they don't win the midterms, several of them are going to prison. Bannon was on the campaign to push that 2028 because he know he all up in somebody's ass. And they asses are in trouble. He said, y'all, come on now. Come on. If we do not win, we are going to prison. Oh yeah, dog. Y'all pretty much going. Y'all, it's a wrap. Even if y'all rig it, it needs to be a do-over. There is just no way, because y'all cheat all the time. Y'all been cheating for several elections. It's a no-go. Your ass is going to jail. He's steady. Yeah, and he just pardoned some female today. Yeah, every time he gets exposed, he pardons somebody to piss us off.
Said that what Epstein knew about Donald Trump is what he was most afraid about as Trump's top advisor on that time. Zoom in on Epstein's desk right there.
Why would he even bring it up? Well, I told y'all why he brought it up. I told y'all. I have to remind myself. He should have. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh wow. And he got a picture of this on his fucking desk. Can y'all believe that? He got victims on. What is it, Sam? That's a person. That's the legs slumped over. Either it looks like she's drugged or she's drunk. And he got pictures on his desk. Now this is when I started really getting pissed off. It's not funny anymore. The funny is gone.
Zoom in on Epstein's desk right there. There appears to be a survivor or victim passed out. I'm not sure if she's alive or what the status is of this individual, but the face is redacted, and more photos of Trump. So with this, what has just been released, the Democrats on the House Oversite Committee have stated that from the Epstein estate, they got their hands on 95,000 photos. 95,000 photos from the Epstein estate. Thus far, they've only released 19 of these photos, and many of them have Donald Trump on them. They also have Bannon, who you saw. There's some photos of Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, and Larry Summers, but most of them seem to be of Donald Trump here. You see the Trump condoms, the gags, all of these photos are horrific. So according to the Democratic ranking member on the House Oversight Committee, Congressmember Garcia, they've only reviewed 25,000 of the 90,000 photos that they have, and they say they have a lot of other documents, a lot of other photos that they plan to release, but they're just starting to release these 19, but there are other horrific photos, according to Congressmember Garcia, who's just done an incredible job as the Democrats' ranking member. Let me play for you what Congressmember Garcia just said. But first, I want to remind you, make sure you hit subscribe to this YouTube channel. We've been fearlessly reporting about Trump's Epstein connections for many years. You know this channel is under attack by Donald Trump and his regime, and state regime media wants us shut down. We're leading all independent media, so hit subscribe. Help us get to 6 million subscribers right now. Okay, here is Congressmember Garcia saying that there are some other photos from the first batch of 25,000 that they haven't released yet, but they're holding them to see what Donald Trump does with the release of the Epstein files next week, and then they may release them to see if Trump's going to actually transparently produce the Epstein files when they're due. Here's what Garcia says. Play this clip.
Right now, our plan is to demand that the president release the files, and we'll see what he does on the 19th. But I think, again, these pictures, some of these photos are really disturbing, and I know we've put some out today. There are many others, and some of the other photos that we did not put out today are incredibly disturbing.
And here is what Garcia says about the 95,000 photographs that have been received.
What is 95,000? Only 19
of them. Play this clip.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, just last night, we received about 95,000 photographs from the Epstein estate. I want to be clear. Our committee, Oversight Democrats, have gone through maybe about 25,000 of them so far. So there's an enormous amount of photos that we have not gone through. It will take days and weeks to ensure that we go through those photos and that a redaction is done in the appropriate way. Let me just also say that clearly we have put out, I think maybe 15 to 20 of those photos this morning, Democrats have. We will continue to put out more photos in the days and weeks ahead. But I just caution folks that the redaction process and ensuring that we are protecting the survivors and the women who were abused by Epstein are protected.
What else do you?
No, then on the Republican side, you have Thomas Massie, and Thomas Massie has been instrumental in getting the Epstein files or the Epstein file legislation through Congress and signed into law. Massey's been working with Ro Khanna, the Democratic Congress member, to get that discharge petition signed, which it was, and then the law was put on the floor, and then everybody basically voted for it except for one MAGA Republican Congress member. Here's what Massey had to say this morning. Play this clip.
Are you forced to use the claw because your leggings were made without pockets? Ew. Look at my
material. If DOJ doesn't release the files it has by next Friday, is there anything Congress can do to compel that to happen?
Hey, Smokelahoma.
It's a crime if they don't.
The tea is hot. Did you see the new and improved glove, freak off glove? Smoke. Did you see the elite freak off glove? Did you see it, Smoke? I feel like I am, you know, I just feel like whatever freaky side I had, I'm a nerd. Did you see the glove? I can't, oh my God, I gotta show the glove again. I just don't feel like we freaky enough. These old, nasty, trifling, funky face it's gone. No freaks like, hey, Lady Love, I ain't never seen no shit like this in all my life. Here I am thinking, y'all know. Are you, hey, where is it at? And y'all know. And I'm saying, what the fuck is this? Did I miss this? Y'all, did I miss this? What in, did we miss this? How did we miss this? Oh me, oh my, how in the world did I miss this? What? That is that doing the butt? I mean, what? What? You gonna sell a bit? Let me back this up. I don't. Okay, so it must have skipped. I remember that. And they go the Trump condoms, the new and improved butt plugs, gloves, 5-in-1. Which one you want? You want to feel it? You want a big screw? You want a lot of screwing? Look, I mean, Lord. Oh, Lord. I need a confession. We need to go to church. These nasty ass. That's that freak of nature. I just ain't never in my life seen no glove like this. I ain't seen no glove like this now. I ain't gonna say I ain't never seen no plug. But this shit right here, you can choose. You can slide that thing and they can have a different type of pleasure in one course. They can switch it up on you. That switch up will fuck you up, won't it? That switch up will hook you up. You know, Close your eyes and you think you got that rhythm of that thing. And then all of a sudden it start going another way. It start going another way. Be like, whoa, what was that? What type of shit is this? Law, can I say this before I move on? Listen, I thought Diddy was bad. The switch up will make you twist. Be like, what you doing? Listen, I thought Diddy was bad. These nasty white chocolate men. I mean, god dang. Wow, I ain't gonna even lie. This one messed my head up. Let's go.
Disgusting. You have jawbreaker gags over here, terms and conditions of the warranty for these gags that are part of these photos that include Trump and Epstein and other wealthy men that the Democrats on the House Oversite Committee just released.
You got 5 on it.
Things called pussy pumps. You've got extreme restraints. And then more photos of Donald Trump, Epstein, and young girls, young ladies.
You say I got 5 on
people as well. It looks like they're young. The face is redacted, so it's hard to see photos of
this
Steve
is some
Bannon
crazy
and Jeffrey
shit.
Epstein
I ain't gonna even lie.
having meetings together. At this time, Epstein was meeting with Bannon. Bannon was Donald Trump's top advisor at this time. And Bannon had said that what Epstein knew about Donald Trump is what he was most afraid about as Trump's top advisor on that time. Zoom in on Epstein's desk right there.
This
there
right here is
appears
sick.
to be a survivor, victim passed out. I'm not sure if she's alive or what the status is of this individual, but the face is redacted.
Pussy
and more photos of Trump. So with this, what has just been released, the Democrats on the House Oversight Committee have stated that from the Epstein estate, they got their hands on 95,000 photos. 95,000 photos from the Epstein estate. Thus far, they've only released 19 of these photos, and many of them have Donald Trump on them. They also have Bannon, who you saw. There's some photos of Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, and Larry Summers, but most of them seem to be of Donald Trump here. You see the Trump condoms, the gags. All of these photos are horrific. So according to the Democratic ranking member on the House Oversight Committee, Congressmember Garcia, they've only reviewed 25,000 of the 90,000 photos that they have, and they say they have a lot of other documents, a lot of other photos that they plan to release, but they're just starting to release these 19, but there are other horrific photos, according to Congressmember Garcia, who's just done an incredible job as the Democrats' ranking member. Let me play for you what Congressmember Garcia just said, but first I want to remind you, make sure you hit subscribe to this YouTube channel. We've been fearless, transparently produce the Epstein files when they're due. Here's what Garcia says. Play this clip.
Right now, our plan is to demand that the president release the files, and we'll see what he does on the 19th. But I think, again, these pictures, some of these photos are really disturbing. And I know we've put some out today. There are many others. And some of the other photos that we did not put out today are incredibly disturbing.
And here is what Garcia says about the 95,000 photographs that have been received, and that they've gone through about 25,000 of them. Play this clip.
Obviously, just last night, we received about 95,000 photographs from the Epstein estate. I want to be clear. Our committee, Oversight Democrats, have gone through maybe about 25,000 of them so far. So there's an enormous amount of photos that we have not gone through. It will take days and weeks to ensure that we go through those photos and that a redaction is done in the appropriate way. Let me just also say that clearly we have put out, I think maybe 15 to 20 of those photos this morning, Democrats have. We will continue to put out more photos in the days and weeks ahead.
Wow.
But I just caution folks that the redaction process and ensuring that we are protecting the survivors and the women who were abused by Epstein are protected.
What else do you?
Then on the Republican side, you have Thomas Massie, and Thomas Massie has been instrumental in getting the Epstein files or the Epstein file legislation through Congress and signed into law. Massey's been working with Ro Khanna, the Democratic Congress member, to get that discharge petition signed, which it was, and then the law was put on the floor, and then everybody basically voted for it except for one MAGA Republican Congress member. Here's what Massey had to say this morning. Play this clip.
If DOJ doesn't release the files it has by next Friday, is there anything Congress can do to compel that to happen?
Well, I mean, it's a crime if they don't. It's not like they're in contempt of Congress because they didn't respond to a subpoena. This is a new law with, criminal implications if they don't follow it. But I was encouraged, again, by the fact that they went back to these 3 judges and got the judges to release the grand jury material to the DOJ.
Is that grand jury material enough, you think,
No.
to comply with the law?
No, the grand jury material is just a small fraction of what the DOJ needs to release, because the FBI and DOJ probably has evidence that they chose not to take to the grand jury, because the evidence they're in possession of would implicate other people, not Epstein or Maxwell. So the grand jury material is probably going to just be mostly facts and evidence that was used to convict those 2. And what we want to see are the facts and evidence that the FBI and the DOJ have never given to a grand jury.
Again, just take a look at these photos one more time of Donald Trump and these young ladies or young girls with their face redacted. Some believed to be the Epstein survivors, very young girls. You can see right there. Donald Trump, just zoom in, look at that creepy face of his. And then the Trump condoms and gags and restraints. All of this is, I guess, part of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein's sick and twisted world. It's hard to even report on this. This also comes out, you saw our reporting earlier this morning, hat tip to Scott McFarland, who was the first to break this, about the Epstein survivors and Senate Democrats demanding an audit of the Epstein files currently in the possession of the Department of Justice, believing that they're probably tampered with or manipulated or destroyed. You had the great reporting by Bloomberg that through the FOIA request saw that right around March, the DOJ put like 1,000 FBI officers and DOJ lawyers to go through the Epstein files. They created redaction teams to search and try to, remove Donald Trump's name from these files. Here is a DOJ deputy chief, Joseph Schmidt. He was taped by O'Keefe, and here's what he said a few months back. Here, let's play this clip.
The shocking truth about what daily sleep gummies do to your brain and body. The results will surprise you. Day 1, you take your first gummy at bedtime, maybe expecting disappointment, but 20 minutes later, your racing thoughts slow down and you're falling asleep without tossing and turning for hours. It's like finding a dimmer switch for your brain. Day 2, you sleep through the night. No 3 a.m. wake-ups, no staring at the ceiling, and you actually wake up refreshed instead of like you've been hit by a truck. Day 5, your brain fog lifts and your mind clears. Your razor-sharp focus is back. You're actually finishing tasks without that mental fatigue dragging you down. Day 7, you have more energy than you've ever had. Real energy, not the jittery caffeine-fueled kind. You're jumping off the bed and your body feels alive again. Day 14, family and friends start asking what changed. You're different, sharper, more present, more like yourself. Your good mood and patience is back. Day 30, you're looking in the mirror and see the transformation. You see someone who's thriving, clear skin, bright eyes, genuine energy. The person you used to be before sleep became a nightly battle. These are the results that make mood sleep gummies different from any other sleep solution. Delta 9 combined with plus ashwagandha.
Well, those files do exist.
Yeah, thousands and thousands of pages of files. They'll redact every Republican or conservative person in those files, leave all the liberal, Democratic people in those files.
And you think they did that Maxwell person?
Yeah.
And also involved.
She got transferred to a minimum security prison 2 years ago, which is against BOP policy because she's a convicted sex offender. They're offering her something to keep it on shut.
What do you do for work here?
I work for the Department of Justice.
Okay.
Been there like 23 years. I'm an analyst. I'll be acting deputy chief of our office for a few months starting next week. I work closely with like all the federal law enforcement agencies, the U.S. Attorney's offices, the prosecutors and stuff. The thing is, it's interesting because I do deal with so many of the agencies. I think we were prisons, the Marshal Service, the FBI, U.S. Attorney's office.
Now, this also comes at a time when Ghislaine Maxwell says that she will not be speaking with Congress the way she spoke to Donald Trump's lawyer. The number 2 at the DOJ, Todd Blanche, remember she spoke to him and lied through her teeth because she's a liar and a convicted sex trafficker of children, and one of Donald Trump's former best friends who Trump moved from a maximum security facility in Tallahassee to a minimum security facility at Camp Bryan in Texas. She's getting VIP treatment by Donald Trump because sex traffickers get VIP treatment from Donald Trump now. What a despicable regime. She says she's not going to speak with Congress, and if she does get subpoenaed, which she is, and if they force her to speak, then she's just going to invoke her Fifth Amendment and she's not going to say anything at all. You see the plan that's developing here? You'll recall a month or so ago, you had Mike Johnson saying, Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. Trump has nothing to do with it, nothing to hide. Here, play this clip.
President Trump has nothing to do with it. He has said himself he has nothing to hide. And that's clearly what they've been trying to do. They're trying to attack President Trump. This is what they've done. They weaponized the justice system over the last several years to go after him, and this is their latest attempt. And they don't have a platform or a principle to defend on the Democrat Party side, so they put all their eggs in this basket. And that's why you hear endlessly about Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. Everything's about Epstein.
Really, MAGA Mike? You say he has nothing to do with it and nothing to hide? Okay, MAGA Mike, you think that we're stupid? These photos, by the way, that were released today by the House Oversite Committee, right? It follows the emails from the Epstein estate where we saw that Jeffrey Epstein and his brother were sending emails like this to each other with memes and photos of Donald Trump. Would you trust this man with your daughter? You have Mark Epstein, Epstein's brother, with Jeffrey Epstein in emails March 21, 28, saying, ask Bannon if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. You have Jeffrey Epstein to Lauren Summers, both who are very bad people, talking about Trump. I've met some very bad people, none as bad as Trump. Not one decent cell in his body. So yes, dangerous. Then we had the Epstein emails that show that Epstein told Ghislaine Maxwell that Donald Trump spent hours at my house. He knew all about the girls, and that Trump is the dog that hasn't barked, but he knows all about them, is what they were saying. Horrific stuff. You have recently Caroline Levitt going on this Miranda Devine New York Post podcast saying that the Epstein files is a classic Washington, D.C. hoax. Play this clip.
But if you look at how this Epstein story sort of evolved over the past week, it's classic Washington hoax.
Yes. You had Donald Trump saying a month or so ago that he was never with Epstein, never at all, never there. Here, play this clip.
I believe that some of the people that we mentioned are being looked at very seriously for their relationship to Jeffrey Epstein, but they were with him all the time. I wasn't at all. And we'll see what happens. What I just don't want Epstein to do is detract from the great success of the Republican Party.
I think you get it. Donald Trump lies about literally everything right here. And, and in addition to Epstein, right, Donald Trump was hanging out with people like Casablanca, who ran the elite model management, and he died over 12 years ago, and he was a pedo, and Trump's whole crew of friends, that whole connection of these like guys in that period of time who own these like modeling agencies They were just, it was a pedo friend. And so it's just not unique to Epstein. It's Casablancas. It was others at Elite Model Management. Horrific stuff. So again, these photos released this morning. We'll keep you posted every step of the way, but some horrific stuff. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million. Thanks for watching.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeMPHIS.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filikowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeMPHIS.com.
Oh my God, hold on.
These cheeses might.
Hi, Stephanie. Oh my God, were we expecting I'm not gonna even lie. I was not expecting anything like this. I'm not gonna even. My eyes have seen the glory of this demonic, and I say demonic. Yeah. And he has the nerve to be calling people criminals. He has the nerve to be releasing people from prison. This is the new release, the new party.
We're gathering new details from officials in Colorado following the announcement by President Trump on social media yesterday saying he's going to pardon former Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters.
Now, President Trump posted on Truth Social calling for her release. Peters is facing state charges, meaning only Governor Polis can grant her a pardon. And of course, the president knows that. He could pardon a federal case, but not a state case. He had a long post there on Truth Social as well. Fox 31's Jared Dean joining us from downtown Denver to break it down. Hey,
it's
Jared.
12/12, so I guess a lot of truth coming out today.
Pushing for Tina Peters' release
what make
for a while
12/12
now, and in this
special?
most recent post, he calls Tina Peters a patriot and saying that she is being targeted by Democrats, adding he says that Democrats allow violent criminals to be free in our state. Now, Peters was convicted last year of allowing illegal access to voting machines and tampering with voter information during the 2020 election.
Okay.
She is serving a 9-year prison sentence in Pueblo for her crimes, and she is appealing her state conviction to get out of jail, but that was rejected actually by a judge on Monday. Peters cannot be pardoned by the president on these charges because she was voter information during the 2020 election.
Oh, voters information.
She is
Okay.
serving a 9-year prison sentence in Pueblo for her.
So she was cheating for Trump.
That Democrats allow violent criminals to be free in our state. Now, Peters was convicted of police for a while now, and in this most recent post, he calls Tina Peters a patriot and saying that she is being targeted by Democrats, adding he says that Democrats allow violent criminals to be free in our state. Now, Peters was convicted last year of allowing illegal access to voting machines and tampering with voter information during the 2020 election. She is serving a 9-year prison sentence in Pueblo for her crimes, and she is appealing her state conviction to get out of jail, but that was rejected actually by a judge on Monday. Peters cannot be pardoned by the president on these charges because she was tried and convicted at the state level. Several other officials in Colorado echoed this statement, including Attorney General Phil Weiser.
It's a basic principle of our Constitution that states run their criminal justice systems. We're doing that here in Colorado. He can't tell us what to do. I'm never going to be afraid of this president. I'm going to stand for what's right. I'll always fight for Colorado.
Yeah, and last night, Dan Rubenstein, a Republican DA who prosecuted Peters, sent out a statement saying, quote, "I have yet to hear from a legal expert who believes that the president has that authority." Now, we did also speak with a constitutional expert on this. He said, quote, "There are no loopholes." Now, that same sentiment was shared by other lawmakers from both sides of the aisle that we spoke with. Live from...
There are no loopholes. I hope they don't find none, because they sure looking for loopholes. Yeah, no loopholes.
Shared by other lawmakers from both sides of the aisle that we spoke with. Live from Denver, Jared Dean, constitutional expert on this. He said, quote, "There are no loopholes." Now, that same sentiment was shared by other lawmakers from both sides of the aisle. Now, that same sentiment was shared by other lawmakers from both sides of the polls. Now, that same sentiment was shared by other lawmakers from both sides of the aisle that we no loopholes. Now, that same sentiment was shared by
No
other
get out of free
lawmakers from
card.
both sides of the aisle that we spoke with. Live from Denver, Jared Dean, Fox 31. Yes.
Yeah. No get out of free card.
What can disqualify you from getting a life insurance policy? With us, nothing. If you're age 45 to 85, we help cover you with no medical exam.
So now let's look ahead to the legal fight to come. Let's bring in Democratic Attorney General Phil Weiser, who we should note is also seeking his party's nomination for governor. A.G. Weiser, thank you for your time. First off, will this work? Will President Trump's pardon actually free Tina Peters?
Thank you, Miss.
No. This is a lawless act. It's an act of intimidation. It has no basis
High five
in
to
American
you.
law. Our system
High
of government
five.
gives states authority to run their own criminal justice systems. As you noted, there was a trial. There was a conviction by a jury. There's an appeal to the state courts. All that is happening under the rule of law. This president doesn't respect the rule of law.
Sure
He doesn't
don't.
have authority to undermine how we operate our judicial system here in Colorado.
We have seen this on a number of issues where essentially the Trump administration will take action and dare a court to tell them that it is illegal. My question for you is, what we're seeing a legal maneuver, or do you view it as something else?
This president apparently thinks he can pressure and bully people to his will. That's not going to work in Colorado because we honor the rule of law.
No, he got a Trump condom.
That has existed in America since we became a republic, which is a system that no matter who you know, no matter what party you are,
And I don't know, and a puss pump.
I've had to sue this president 45 times and counting because we keep getting these lawless demands, and we're winning again and again. Those who cave in, those who are folders, they're the ones who end up sacrificing. But as long as we stand strong, invoke the law, and do what's right, we're going to honor the system of justice we have here in Colorado.
You're the
I
only
wonder,
attorney
is
in
that
this
his glove?
But I'm curious what you make of the legal theory being put forward by Peters' team. And it strikes me, for lay people who are watching this, right, we at least understand that there are some things
I didn't
that
hear
are
that, but I did
law,
hear his
and then there's some
condom.
things that are kind of questionable, right?
I
that they
wonder
haven't
was
really been
all those
tested.
his toys.
And then there's theories that are just kind of totally off the wall. Where do you believe Peters' team's legal theory falls on that spectrum?
This is an off-the-wall theory. It's total garbage, and any lawyer who argues in favor of this should be embarrassed and ashamed. We've had our system under the Constitution since 1789. The president has had a pardon power since then, and no president has ever tried to do this. This is unprecedented. There's no basis in the text of the Constitution, in the history of the Constitution. We need to hold our constitutional system. We need to hold the rule of law. That's the basis of our democratic republic. We obviously will fight and resist this, and there's no legal authority in the Constitution. I just, for the life of me, don't understand why this president isn't willing to do what every other president had done. Frankly, even the first Trump administration, which is to ask lawyers, can we do this? And as you noted, there's some issues that are beyond the pale, that have no basis in law. This is one of them.
A.G. Weiser, one final question for you here. Practically speaking, what happens if representatives of Tina Peters and or the president show up at the state prison in Pueblo tonight or tomorrow and say Tina Peters is coming with us? Will she be released by the state of Colorado while this plays out?
No, there's no legal authority for any federal government action to take a prisoner who's in state custody, lawfully having been tried, convicted, and sentenced. This is an important principle of our Constitution. And everyone who says they care about the rule of law, about public safety, and our Constitution needs to care about this issue. Ben Franklin said when he left the Constitutional Convention, we have a republic as long as we can keep it. This is one of those moments.
Attorney General Phil Weiser, thank you very much for your time. We'll talk again soon.
Smart founders know something most people miss. Get your domain name even if you're not ready to launch your business. With Wix, you can grab yours now and then get to work. Here's why it matters. Back in 2019, I had this killer business idea, but I delayed getting the domain name because I wasn't ready. That was a huge mistake. Someone else grabbed it, built the exact same business I planned, and now they're making all the money that I could have been making. And that's why I'm
It
sharing
ain't but a
this.
few
Locking
of us
down
in
your
here, but
domain
get the
name is
likes up. Get the likes up. Double tap the face of your screen. This is some crazy mess. Let's hear the girls talk about taco tits before I go. This is some crazy frackle-knackle. This is some crazy frackle-knackle bull. Oh my God. Taco tits. There we go.
Are probably, since everybody's blank.
So how would you purify water in case of a blackout? Oh, I'd boil it. Boiling kills bacteria, but it doesn't remove contaminants.
Happy Friday. Welcome to iHub News Live. We have some breaking news. House Oversite Dems have been relentless in getting to the bottom of what is in the middle of these Jeffrey Epstein files. And surprise, surprise, guess who keeps popping up? None other than Pudding Boy, Cankles McTaco Tits, dipshit president extraordinaire, Donald Trump. Let's take a look at these photos. I've only seen like
Did
one.
she say McTaco tits?
For us to react. These Jeffrey Epstein files, and surprise, surprise, guess who keeps popping up? None other than Pudding Boy, Cankles McTaco Tits, dipshit president extraordinaire, Donald Trump. Let's take a look at these photos. I've only seen like one. Kylie's gonna load them for us to react. All right, we got the Trump condom for $4.50, and it says, "I'm huge." Do we know where this was?
You huge. I think you lying. I think you lying. I think you got a huge head. I'm talking about the mashed potato head. Yeah, no. huge. Men don't have to. They don't have to take it. They don't have to force themselves on females or men. They just don't.
Sold? Is this on Epstein Island, or was this them for us to react? All right, we got the Trump condom for $4.50, and it says, "I'm huge." Do we know where this was sold? Is this on Epstein Island, or was this Kylie, do we know anything about it?
I don't know anything about these photos yet.
They came from the Epstein estate, so I'm assuming they were photos within some of the properties. That would be what I read and inferred. That these were like party favor type things.
And per
Parting
Daniels,
gifts.
we know
Oh wow.
they're not huge, is what we know.
It's a little nubbin.
That's what I know. I didn't.
Comment section put a pencil, and I think they mean pencil peen. Yeah, that just popped that up. That's so
Pencil
good.
peen.
Okay, this is some disturbing stuff. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, this is an image of the President of the United States surrounded by what I assume are probably, since everybody's blanked out here, maybe victims. I don't know for sure. But, this is why Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, and others raced in to release the Epstein files, and then they started looking at them and they were like, oh, fuck.
No.
This is why they're not releasing them, you guys. And it's interesting, Pumps, that the Epstein estate is releasing all of these. What is your take on that? You're more briefed on it. You did a great episode the other day with journalist Tara Palmieri. Why do you think the Epstein estate is releasing all of these so rigorously?
Well, they've been subpoenaed, but the reason that we're getting this information from the Epstein estate and not the Justice Department is because the Justice Department is trying to keep this information from the public. They have started new investigations so that they have cause to withhold certain information from the release per the law. So this is 100% an FBI, DOJ cover-up, full stop. You cannot act like anything but they are trying to cover for Trump. 1,000 agents pulled off other cases so they could comb through these files and redact Trump's name. I mean, this is staggering, the corruption and how far they're willing to go to protect Dear
This
Leader.
is awful.
But here's the thing. Dear Leader is in this up to his eyeballs, and he knew it when he kept promising his base, I want to release the Epstein files. He fucking knew he was
that
all
makes
over
no
it. He
sense.
knew his relationship with Epstein, and he didn't give a shit because he's never been held accountable. So good
He
for the
thought they
Epstein
were
estate.
redacted.
I also read that the Epstein is from within the properties. Does not specify where within the properties the videos were taken, but we heard Howard Lutnick say Epstein recorded men with minors in his home and then blackmailed with them. That's what he said. So I don't know if those are the videos they have, but I mean, here's the thing. Can we stop acting like Trump wasn't in this up to his eyeballs? Mainstream media, well, I mean, it doesn't allege the president of wrongdoing. This man was best friends with him for 10 fucking years. He's running around with these condoms. You cannot sit there with a straight face and act like Trump was unaware, because nobody was unaware.
Well, and I also know that one default that Trump always reverts back to is it'll hurt a lot of good people if these files are released. And so he knows who, because of his proximity and his friendship, not only is he in the center of all of this, but he knows a lot of other powerful people who I assume now are probably donors of his that are in the epicenter of all of this. And he's far more interested in always protecting criminals.
Always.
He's gravitated to criminals because he himself is a criminal. And it's important to always remind people of this. The Republican Party for decades has claimed to be the family values party. They have claimed the moral high ground. They have used their proximity to churches and their ability to be diabolical to get Republican messaging into churches, in flyover states, and use people's faith by saying things like, well, we're pro-family, we're pro-children. All of that is a lie. They have been lying to Americans for years. Trickle-down economics is a lie. And if anybody has to brag and say, I'm pro-family, everybody's pro-family. That's not you. That's not something you have to say. It'd be like me saying, I breathe oxygen. Nobody is anti-family. And in fact, I would even argue, me lady thinks thou doth protest too much, to quote Shakespeare in Macbeth, that the people who have to constantly say they're pro-family, those are the people you need to look into. That's not a normal thing to brag about. It's a foregone conclusion. Everybody wants well-being and goodness for children. This is not an exclusive idea that the Republican Party has. When they lower the bar so low, brag about something that is a shared value, to me, that is a red flag. Okay, put up the next. Okay, here we have Steve Bannon and Jeffrey Epstein inside what I assume is probably like Jeffrey Epstein's apartment. And but Steve Bannon, I think he has, doesn't he have hours upon hours upon hours of video with Jeffrey Epstein? And it's my understanding that Jeffrey Epstein had hired Bannon to advise him on a rebrand of how to kind of rebrand himself after being revealed as a prolific pedophile, which tells you Steve Bannon, number one, would take the job, which that's sus AF. But also Steve Bannon is at the center of a lot of MAGA stuff. Now, with one caveat, Bannon is upset personally because the oligarchs have kind of replaced him. And I think he has a lot of internal jealousy of the oligarchs. But this is all roads. Bannon and Trump, thick as thieves. And the fact that Bannon, up until Epstein was, quote, committed suicide, which nobody thinks he did. He was actually, this death occurred during a Trump DOJ. Bannon's right in the middle of all of this, right when Bannon was all in the middle of MAGA 1.0.
Yes. I mean, here's the thing. Trump is a criminal mind. He's a con. He's a grifter. Everything he does is to benefit himself. Morals, ethics, nobody gives a shit. He's never been held accountable. That's who he surrounds himself with. Steve Bannon, remember the big build the wall in Trump 1.0? Fucking Steve Bannon embezzled the money from Trump's supporters. So the fact that Steve Bannon was running interference and BFs with Epstein and worked for him and was going to rebrand him after he was credibly convicted of being a pedophile surprises me zero. That's who these guys are, from top to bottom. That is who they are.
Okay, let's take a look at the next image. Let me see. What are we seeing here, Kylie?
This is a zoom in from that same photo that people are pointing out, and it's an image framed on Epstein's desk, and it looks to me and some other people that it's a woman. You can see that they've blurred out her face with her legs out and like a sheet over her.
It's so disturbing, y'all.
It is disturbing, very.
They say over 1,000 girls.
And here's the thing. I want the Democrats to start aggressively screaming at the big Christian, Moses Mike Grinder Johnson. Yes. Will not shut the fuck up about how tight he and JC are. And completely keep hammering these religious Republican hypocrites. This man was a pedophile. Your party is protecting pedophiles. Why won't you release all of the files? You can't have it both ways. You can't say he's so transparent and then he's doing he's calling this a hoax. Yeah. Donald Trump is calling this whole thing a hoax.
Well, then why did he bring it up?
About being an American right now.
He shouldn't have never brought it up.
This MFer gets away with. And
it wasn't a hoax when he thought he was just going to expose Bill Clinton.
These lying white Christian Republican men that are all about running cover for this crime.
They are Zionists.
The Trump family.
Why are you calling them Christians? They are not Christians. They are Zionists. Say it. Why will you not say it? They are not Christians. They are Zionists. No, absolutely not.
And how many people go along with the grift. All of these lying white Christian
Zionists. Zionists. Pro-Israel. Yeah, no.
Republican men.
That's why I don't like that they put that Christian Zionists on it. No, they're not. They are wolves in sheep clothing, hiding behind the Christians with the intent of converting them to the Zionism. Absolutely not. They are fake and they are fraud. They are deceivers who come to kill, steal, and destroy. Period.
All about running cover for this crime family, the Trump family, and all of the sycophant parasites that are trying to suck off the American taxpayer even more. And at the center of it is this huge sex scandal, and the DOJ is just gone. Like, there is no more Department of Justice. You know, that whole Lady Justice, blind, all that. No. Blinders are off, and it's all about protecting Donald Trump, protecting his sons, Dumb and Dumber, protecting his grifting, opportunistic, sociopathic son-in-law, Jared Kushner.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about placating to the weird impulses of a guy named Stephen Miller that is so inherently racist, that wants to play out all of his racism on a national stage.
True that.
And belittle people based on what country they're from. Just really juvenile, cruel, diabolical shit.
Well, these are not evolved people. But when you said what's so frustrating about being an American, I completely agree, because I look at other countries, and I'm just going to say the UK, for example. People that have been caught up in these emails and these photos, they have faced accountability, maybe not criminal, but you have the ambassador from Britain to the United States, he was shit-canned. The former Prince Andrew, title stripped, kicked out of his home. Other countries are willing to take action against people that were in Epstein circles. The United States wants to argue about whether Trump had any wrongdoing. Well, I've got news for you. If you're around a pedophile ring and a sex trafficking ring of little girls for years, and you call the main guy your best friend, and you write dirty, nasty letters to him, and you have condoms for $4.50 that say I'm huge on it, you're fucking in on it. Like, it's not that hard to figure out. And these people, Mike Johnson for one, well, we don't know, we're going to investigate. Bullshit. You're trying to cover it up. This man, from grabbing by the pussy, you know, saying how hot his daughter was, going into Miss Universe naked rooms, and because he was the owner, this man is a sexual, adjudicated rapist. It's unbelievable that people would actually argue, well, you know, these photos don't show any wrongdoing, like, you know, the birthday book. I mean, it defies logic. It's beyond logic.
Let's not let the Senate Majority Leader, with his silent complicity to a lot of this, off the hook. And I'm talking about Senator John Thune, who the Democrats should be screaming at, because silence is complicity. And little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson is an active sycophant. He so desperately wants to protect Trump's fragile ego. He so desperately wants praise from Trump. And I'm sure Trump just bashes him behind his back nonstop. And we know he says, I control Congress.
Right.
But the Democrats have done a really piss poor job going after the Senate Majority Leader. And he plays it really safe. You can tell he wants to have his cake and eat it too. He wants to appease Trump, but he doesn't want to seem like too much of a nut. So he's silently complicit with all of this stuff. And the Democrats, this is what I wish would happen right now. You know how the Republicans flood the zone? What I want to see Democrats do right now is flood the zone. I would like to see the progressive wing of the senators in the Democratic Party go scorched earth and demand that Chuck Schumer step down immediately. Chuckles is incompetent. He is worthless. He is controlled opposition, and we need to start flooding the zone, and we need to take over the news cycle. Because right now, MAGA is buying up the news cycle, and there ain't no time like the present. And I would like to see a group of uber progressive senators that aren't beholden to PACs go in and say, Chuck, step down right now. We want a new leader of the Senate. You have not delivered at all. You are behaving like controlled opposition. We showed you all a video yesterday where he's on CNN, sitting there going, who knows what Trump's up to? Right.
I
have no idea. Everybody on the fucking planet knows what he's up to. He's up to dementia, and he's up to ripping off.
There is no one busier than a man who's not ready for a relationship. If he's talking about how busy he is with his job or with his family or other things going on in his life and that he doesn't have time for you, then that's man speak for I'm not ready. Because as humans, we make time for the things that we prioritize most in our life. And when I say prioritizing, I don't mean text messages, okay? I mean really giving you his full energy and resources and focus to win you over for a long-lasting relationship. So if that's all you're getting from men, then it's time to make a shift and start reclaiming what we call your commitment power. And on this free seminar, I'm going to be walking you through 5 very specific strategies that are going to make men want to commit their hearts to you. Register anywhere on this page or head on over to hecommits.com and we'll get you set up for success.
All right, crew, to bust some common weight loss myths. Cut all carbs. Wrong.
Weight loss shot.
You're on the treadmill every day. Rookie.
Carnivore.
If you're over 40 and you're trying to lose weight fast, listen to this.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What are you doing? Well, I need to lose weight fast, and come on, everybody's doing this.
You know there's a much safer way to get rid of that belly fat?
Believe me, Rory, that is not how you lose weight.
This is the simplest way to lose weight. Most people ignore this. This is a hormone disruptor. This is a hormone disruptor. And this is also a hormone disruptor.
The best way to get in shape in 2026 is you got to ditch the fad diets, definitely end that boring cardio, and stop the ridiculous exercises like this.
Dang, girl, you have such a nice body. I feel like I'm here all the time and I'm not seeing any results. Do you have any tips?
Let me tell you the 3 biggest fitness myths ever. Let's expose some fitness myths. Number 1, lifting weights makes women bulky. Number 2, cardio is the best way to lose weight and burn fat. Number 3, it's possible to spot reduce fat. Ditch all that and listen to this. Here's the most interesting weight loss fact I learned in the last decade. Back in the gladiator days, I thought intense workouts, strict diet was the only way. But now I know I was doing it all wrong. This is a visual of what 5 pounds of fat looks like. Want to get rid of this and more? I went on social media and I saw this guy and I was like, he's in phenomenal shape. His wife is in phenomenal shape. The next thing I knew is I'm looking here going, wow, how can I actually figure out how to do this?
If you want to drop this, don't spend your time and money on a diet that works just for the first 7 to 14 or 21 days.
Diets like keto and paleo and carnivore and extreme calorie deprivation can slow down our fat-burning metabolism. It took me a while to figure this one out, but I will teach it to you in 60 seconds. Diet Destroyer. Granola bars. Diet Destroyer. Store-bought smoothies. Diet Destroyer. Loaded salads. Now let's talk about common weight loss mistakes, especially for people over 40. When you ask people about ways to lose weight, running or doing steady-state cardio will usually be on the top of the list. That is a mistake. No need to strain yourself with endless workouts. Do something like that.
This is how to get in shape fast. Dr. Drew here. When it comes to cardio, it's true that it burns calories, mainly in the form of carbohydrates free in the blood. But here's the deal. After you work up a sweat, the body tends to replace those calories with your next meal. Steady-state cardio can actually release cortisol. Cortisol, of course, is your body's stress hormone, and it's not what you're looking for. It could lead to further muscle breakdown. If you don't like doing steady
The American taxpayer, he's using the United States Treasury as his own piggy bank, and he's selling everything that is owned by the American people. He's putting it up for sale. He's colluding with Russia. He's throwing our allies under the bus. Everybody knows exactly what he's doing. And for the Senate minority leader to get on CNN and act like he doesn't know what Trump's up to, you don't know what he's up to from day to day because he tweets this and then he tweets that. Welcome to the last 10 years of being in America. Right. The Democrats have got to get serious. Chuck isn't going to get serious, so the other senators that are in the United States Senate right now, get serious. Hostile takeover this shit. Control the news cycle. Flood the zone. Start playing 2 games. They're playing this game where they're covering up for a pedophile. Start fucking responding. This is a layup. We need fighters, not folders. I have had it from top to bottom with the leaders in the Democratic Party right now. They need to sit down, shut the fuck up, and put somebody in charge that will fight for us. This is the moment.
Absolutely.
Why are we letting them flood the zone? Why are we always playing defense? Why aren't we flooding the zone? We have got to get serious about this. The country is dwindling and dwindling and dwindling, and this autocratic takeover is at such a rapid rate. They need to do something dramatic to slow it down, because, Kylie, play this video. They know they're going to lose the midterms. Play this clip, Kylie.
What clip?
Did you get it? I emailed it to you.
I will find
It's
it.
a leaked video. Sorry, guys. They know, Pumps, that they're going to lose the midterms. They know. And so they're going to be doing all sorts of fuckery to try to prevent that. And we need to get the base fired up. The numbers of the turnout have to be so mammoth. It has to be such a massive turnout. And they're going to try all sorts of shit to suppress the vote, to make us scared to go vote. And we have the way to mobilize is to see that we have a party that fights for us. Chuck Schumer, he is not it. We need to see that these people are fighting for us. Okay, here's a leaked audio from the RNC head saying he knows they're about to get their asses beat in the midterms.
Put in perspective, only 3 times in the last 100 years has the incumbent party been successful winning a midterm. Wow. 4 times in the last 150. We're facing almost certain defeat.
Walmart hates when you do this, but they can't do a damn thing about it. There's this new battery-operated power washer, and it's got the cleaning power of a military-grade water cannon. It's already banned from Home Depot, Amazon, Walmart, all those big box stores for being too powerful. And now the company behind it is cutting out the middleman, selling over 2 million units in the last 30 days, all without those big retailers.
Okay, y'all, I'm finna get ready to go. They got too many commercials, and I'm trying to... Oh, I wanted to, hold on. Go over here about the Charlie Kirk stuff.
Sequential and crisp and chilly morning. Behind me is where Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin Tyler Robinson is.
That man ain't done it.
Yesterday he was in court physically for the first time and chilly morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm Fox News correspondent Matt Finn, coming to you live from beautiful Utah this morning, a brisk and chilly morning. Behind me is where Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin Tyler Robinson is being jailed here in Utah County. Yesterday he was in court physically for the first time since he allegedly assassinated Charlie Kirk here 3 months ago. And it ended up being a pretty consequential and eventful hearing that lasted several hours. First of all, a lot of people talking about the fact that he appeared to be smirking or smiling in court. You know, some people may just say that's human nature, that's him interacting with his attorneys, but he's getting a lot of criticism for that. And there's, legal analysts saying that that may work against him in the future because he appeared to, maybe be dismissive or irreverent, that he should not be smiling or smirking. In court yesterday, a lot of issues touched upon. First of all, there was a violation of the decorum order. So A little behind the scenes, the cameras are not allowed to show Tyler Robinson in shackles. The media has agreed upon that he will not be shown walking into court in shackles. When he's seated, he won't be shown in shackles. And yesterday, at some point, he was shown in shackles. That was broadcast or live streamed. So the judge ruled that there was a violation of the decorum order, but the Judge Graff, did not ask the camera to leave the court at that point, which we expected he may have. Instead, he asked the camera to move further away from Tyler Robinson, away from the defense table, and then the camera was able to rebroadcast. Now, moving forward, Tyler Robinson's defense is asking that there be no camera during the potential murder trial. But there's an attorney here who is representing 23 media outlets, including Fox News, who is arguing for a camera during the trial. And the argument there is that the public has a right to know that there is intense public interest in this, and that the media ultimately is a party. So the Judge Graff, he heard arguments from both sides yesterday regarding a camera in the courtroom, and the judge said he's going to make that decision in February. Obviously, you may have seen Erica Kirk, Charlie's widow. She has said that she wants a camera in the courtroom. Also, when Charlie Kirk was assassinated here in Utah, not too far from where I am right now, there were hundreds, if not 1,000 plus people on campus at Utah Valley University. And in some previous hearings, there was a gag order issued, and the prosecution asked the judge to clarify, does this gag order apply to the hundreds, if not thousands of people who were eyewitnesses to this terrible assassination? So yesterday, the judge did give a little more clarification. The gag order remains in effect, but the judge basically said that it applies to any witness who reasonably thinks they may be called into court, to either testify or be a part of this trial in any capacity. So that's who this gag order applies to. And also the judge, warned the attorneys, hey, if you guys expect to call some of these eyewitnesses from campus, if you expect to call a witness from anywhere, start letting them know, start giving them a heads up so that they can comply with this gag order. Also, there were some motions to dismiss that were filed. The defense is asking for the prosecutor's office to be dismissed from this case, but they haven't exactly made clear why. The document that they filed is sealed, so we can't read it, but that was brought up in court yesterday. So the judge, we believe, is going to make a decision on that or hear more arguments about it in January. So all of this here in Utah is building up towards a preliminary hearing, which is basically a little mini trial before the anticipated murder trial. And that preliminary hearing was put on the books for the month of May. So essentially, both sides will then argue whether or not there should be a full-blown murder trial, which it certainly looks like that's where this is headed. Also in court yesterday, Tyler Robinson's mother and father were present. Our reporters inside of the courtroom and other people observed that Robinson's mother was crying, and it's really an interesting dynamic if you think about it, because Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin, Tyler Robinson, his mother and father assisted in turning in their own son here in Utah. So now, after doing that,
they said that was a lie.
Basically abiding by the law and surrendering their son, he now faces the death penalty. So, I mean, it's got to be an unimaginable dynamic and heartbreak to know that, you did what is considered the right thing and turned your son over to the state, and now you're watching his trial unfold here in Utah, where he faces the potential death penalty. We will be here in Utah. There's many more hearings coming up. Some of them will be more consequential than others. At least one of them in January. We expect Tyler Robinson to leave this jail again and be transported back over to the courthouse in person. We anticipate being here for that, and we will keep you updated. So, of course, stay tuned to Fox News, all of our social media outlets, and the Fox News channel. I am Matt Finn, a correspondent for Fox News. I plan on covering the hearings and the trial ahead, so stay tuned to all of our social media, and thank you for tuning in.
Okay, I'll be back later.